Mr. Chair.
Thank you. We'll go now to Ms. May. Ms. May, go ahead, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and to my friends and colleagues around the table. I do want to make it very clear to my friend from Katona and St. Paul's and to Melissa Lansman as well. I haven't changed my position at all. I don't own any flip-flops. I don't flip-flop. I stand on principle. I was trained as a lawyer. I'm honored to have been admitted to the bar of Nova Scotia and Ontario. And so when I went through the process of getting top secret security clearance, I was very mindful of what I can say and what I couldn't say. I was quite sure that when David Johnston, his former special rapporteur, opened the door for the first time, that leaders of opposition parties could seek top secret security clearance and potentially obtain it. You don't get it as of right. Have they uncovered something in my past that would make me subject to blackmail or intimidation or be compromised through any form of interference, I wouldn't have gotten top secret security clearance. I would have been denied it. Now, to go to the matter of did my story change? Not one bit. I read the report, the unredacted version of the report of the Committee of Parliamentarians. Before I spoke publicly, and I think it's important for me to explain to my colleagues how I navigated this. How do you obtain top secret security clearance? Read information that must by law remain secret and still talk about it. Well, the answer is you're careful as you navigate. So the notes I plan to use in a press conference, I shared with security agencies. I want my colleagues around the table to know that some things I had intended to say that I thought would be non-controversial and not reveal any secrets included the exact number of people who were considered witting or semi-witting. I repeat again that I do not believe any of our colleagues currently serving in Parliament, at least in terms of the report I read. There may be other information. Certainly the Prime Minister has had other kinds of briefings that I haven't had, but based on the text of the report of the Committee of Parliamentarians, on which our colleagues from the Liberal Party, Bloc Québécois, NDP, and Conservatives put an enormous amount of work. Our colleagues read 33,000 pages of top secret security material and condensed it into a report that they could all stand behind. And then with some deletions and other modifications to make it publicly accessible, that became public information. I was able to read the report unredacted. I stand by every word I said. But before I said a word, because I wasn't gagged, clearly, I was able to talk about it. But I went through my notes with security experts to make sure I didn't inadvertently violate any laws of Canada or inadvertently place at risk any of our intelligence assets. So to my colleagues around the table, I want you to know that I actually edited and changed what I was going to say in a press conference, not taking out names, but even the number of people who might be considered semi-witting in any way potentially compromised. That's to say, again, I repeat, no one currently serving in Parliament, to my knowledge, in the House of Commons, has been compromised or is serving the interests of a foreign government. There are some people who have been referenced as semi-witting, but even the number, the numerical categorization of how many people might fall in that category, I was told clearly, could not be said publicly without placing at risk the lives of our intelligence assets around the world. I want my colleagues to understand this isn't a game. This isn't politics. I'm not playing games here. I'm telling you how it is when you navigate with top secret security clearance, what you can say and what you can't say. So the amendment to this motion would release all the names sounds grand if you operate in ignorance of the law and in ignorance of how security and intelligence operatives and intelligence and security information gathering operates in the real world where there are bad people. And we have to be careful as members of Parliament not to allow political rhetoric to get in the way of what we do to serve Canadians. So I just wanted to clear that up. I hope it helps. We can't just say release all the names if we're operating in ignorance of the ongoing knock-on effects that could have in terms of endangering lives of intelligence assets of Canada. I've navigated this as carefully as I can because I think it's really critical that Canadians know as much as we possibly can share without violating national security. I think this committee is on a good path in choosing to have an investigation. I do again believe that it's important to clear up any suggestion that foreign interference had an impact on the Conservative leadership race. That's an obvious point. That's already out there in public. That's on page 32, paragraph 72 of the public version of the Committee of Parliamentarians report. I think Mr. Poilievre would want to know himself exactly what is referenced there and get a top secret security clearance unless there's some reason he thinks he won't get it. I can't see any reason why he wouldn't want to obtain it. I think I've made it clear, and I think Mr. Singh, as leader of the Democratic Party, has made it clear. Mr. Blanchet is still in the process of getting his top secret security clearance, that we believe we can serve the people of Canada and share the information that we can share without breaking the law and help all Canadians understand. And I wrote each individual leader of all the parties in the House of Commons to please get top secret security clearance so we could meet as a group, as a unified force, and tell foreign powers, whether Russia or the People's Republic of China or India or any of the sources of foreign interference, that we operate in Canada as a solid wall to tell foreign powers, we're not giving you space here. We unify, we pull together. And for that, it would certainly be helpful if all the leaders of all the federal political parties obtained top secret security clearance so we could work together without risking violating the security establishment and the safety and security of people, non-Canadians, somewhere else around the world who are sharing information with our operatives. Those people must not be placed at risk because of reckless political rhetoric here at home. Anyway, I do wish that this committee is able to continue on the study and the kind of accusations of one party versus another are kept to a bare minimum. I guess it's impossible to avoid it altogether, but I haven't changed my story, not one bit. I do believe that you can have top secret security clearance and navigate that responsibility, and it's an onerous responsibility to respect the security establishment of this country, navigate it, and share with Canadians that we have in terms of elected members of Parliament, not, and again, I repeat this, not one person that has actively worked against the interests of Canada. There are, as we said, the category that the committee used and the language they used, witting or semi-witting. It's unusual language, but that's the language they used. And there are some people in that category. But on my reading of the unredacted version of the report, the semi-witting or witting category of MPs have not committed acts that fall into the category of proactive betrayal of their country's interests. Those names and even the number of people in that category, I have been warned by people in our security establishment, must not be shared publicly. Therefore, I'm uncomfortable with the idea that we can just taunt various people, just make it all public. I'm not hiding anything. I do my best to be transparent, and that's why I'm grateful for the chance to take the floor again. I hope that has helped clear things up. I do hope we can all be on the same side here of getting as much information as we can, because we've moved from where we were when David Johnson was made special rapporteur with the concern how much have foreign interests interfered in our elections. We're now looking at very clear accusations that the RCMP uncovered a network of operatives reporting to a criminal element within India operating on Canadian soil to endanger lives. They're very different categories of foreign interference, and they all require deep respect and a degree of caution in how we go forward so we don't betray any information that must be kept secure and secret in the interests of our ability to work with Five Eyes partners and be understood to be a country where secure and secret information remains respected and stays secure and secret. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. May. We go now to Mr. Upal, followed by Mr. McGregor. Mr. Upal.